Hello, everybody. It is me, the Lady Hell with the Creative Space podcast. And y'all, I've been telling you guys about the 9 step marketing strategy. Some of you have been catching me in some classes. We had an amazing pop up. Oh my God, we had a great time and just really kind of going over these things right here. But we were in person and able to apply it to the businesses and whatnot. So here we go. Let's talk. All right. So today's episode is called Speaking Their Language, how to talk to your audience the right way. Okay. Now let's talk. Now, if you out here speaking the same way to every single person in your audience, I need you to stop that right now. Because if you're doing that, you're not connecting, you're not converting, and honestly, you're wasting your time. But here's the deal. You probably have multiple customer avatars. So you might sell to a wide demographic of people. Okay. They're different age groups, different backgrounds, different experiences. And guess what? They don't all talk the same. Think about it. The way I explain something to Gen Alpha, who grew up with iPads and TikTok, is not how I talk to a boomer who still prefers phone calls and emails. If I hit a boomer with, no cap, this deal's busting, I've already lost them, job. And if I talk to Gen Z like I'm writing a corporate email, they're scrolling past me because they was like, what? What are you yapping about, right? So this is the mistake most people make. This is where most business messed up. They either, number one, they try to speak to everyone the same way, which does not work, or two, they only cater to one audience and ignore the rest. Neither of these strategies will give you consistent, scalable success. Instead, you've got to learn how to adapt. You tailor the message without losing your core brand. And listen, this is even in the Bible, right? Because y'all know I always pull something from the Bible to just really emphasize what I'm saying, because the ways of marketing has never changed. It's still the same since it was even in biblical times, and we can apply the wisdom from the word in there. So, of course, the Apostle Paul said in 1 Corinthians 9:12, "I have become all things to all people, that by all means I might save some." Now let's bring that into marketing terms. Paul wasn't changing who he was, but he was adjusting how he communicated so people could actually receive the message. That's the key. Your message has to land. If they can't hear you, they're not going to buy from you. I'll say that again. If they can't hear you, they're not going to buy for you. So how do I do that, Lady Hell? How do I adjust my messaging for the different demographics or different people I'm talking to? So how do you do this? How do you make sure that you're talking to the right people the right way? Here's 4 things I'm gonna give you right now, and it's gonna break down. And this is like a cheat code. Number one, who are you talking to? You have to know who you're talking to. So are they Gen Z, millennials, business professionals, stay-at-home parents? Figure out who's in your audience so you can craft a message specifically for them. Number two, speak their language. Use words, phrases, and references that's actually they actually understand. So you wouldn't use TikTok slang in a corporate boardroom, right? Same concept here. Meet them where they are. Adjust the tone. Number three, adjust the tone and not the truth. Your core message stays the same regardless of how you're presenting it. Your core message is going to stay the same, but how you deliver it changes. It's like teaching, right? I'm a special education teacher, so I have to teach different. I have to teach the same thing, but I have to teach it differently, the way kids understand. So if I'm explaining something to a 5-year-old, I use simple terms, non-abstract terms, right? Non-concrete terms, because they don't think in concrete methods right now. If I'm explaining it to an expert, I go deeper, right? So there's a difference between me explaining something to somebody who's cognitive, uh, they're delayed, versus me explaining something to an expert who has knowledge and everything in it. Okay. And number four, you got to use the right platforms. So you got to use the right platforms for where your demographic is. So if it's the alphas, the Gen Zs, guess what you're gonna be? You're gonna be on Snapchat. You're gonna be on Instagram, and Snapchat and TikTok, right? They're all over that. Boomers love Facebook. Gen Z is all over TikTok and Instagram Reels. Business pros, they're in LinkedIn. So you can't expect everyone to hear you if you're talking in the wrong room. And that's what some of you have been doing with your business. You have been talk, you have the great, your message is great, it's amazing, but your messaging does not apply to the room. And so you have to go and adjust the messaging to apply to the room that you're in. Think of those social media places, uh, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever. Just consider those places like rooms. And in those rooms, there's a specific messaging that's normal or that's appropriate or that's a proper protocol that's for that particular thing, right? And so you have to remember that when you're talking to your audience on Facebook, when you're talking to your audience on X, when you're talking to your audience on TikTok, when you're talking to your audience on Instagram or LinkedIn, or if you're in a church setting, or if you're or you're giving a presentation, right? The room matters. People say it don't matter who in the room, you just give them the message. No, the room matters. Paul said he became all things to all men. He didn't adjust the message. He adjusted the tone of the message so they can understand. So here we go. I'm gonna leave you with the challenge. All right. So day one, the challenge was to identify your audience, and I hope you did that. That should not have taken long at all. Today, what you're going to do is that um, if you've been marketing with a one size fit all messaging, it's time to fix it. Okay, those are where your cracks are, and so it's time to bandage those up. So your challenge this week: go look at your marketing, go look at your ads, your email, your social medias, and I want you to ask yourself these three questions. One, am I speaking to my audience? Is this speaking to my audience? Number two, would this connect with them? Number three, am I using the right language, the right tone, and the right platform? If not, it's time to adjust. Because when you start speaking their language, your audience listen, engage, and buy. So that's it for today's episode. If this hit home for you, do me a favor, subscribe, leave a review, and share with somebody who needs to hear this. Until next time, speak their language, make the connection, and watch your business grow. All right. So thank you so much. Until next time, my name is Crystal Hell. I want you to go out there and create and continue to impact, effect, and monetize. God bless you. Until next time.